Before we begin, I want you to imagine something. Imagine if you had the ability to control your thoughts, your emotions, and your reactions in every situation. Imagine walking into challenges with unshakable confidence, facing failures without fear, and winning in life. Not because of luck, but because of the way your mind is trained. That is the journey of this audiobook. Train your mind to win in every situation. You see, most people believe that success comes from talent, money, or opportunities. But the truth is, success comes from the mind. If your mind is weak, even the best opportunities will slip away. But if your mind is strong, you can turn even the worst situations into victories. So, if you are ready to master your mind, stay with me until the end. And don't forget to follow this channel, because here we explore the ideas that can change your life forever. Now, let us begin. Chapter 1: The Power of Mental Training. Winning begins long before the battle. It begins in the mind. The way you think, the way you prepare, and the way you respond in moments of stress determines whether you win or lose. Mental training is the process of shaping your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs so that no matter what situation you face, you come out stronger. Most people train their bodies. They exercise, they build muscles, they work on physical skills, but very few train their minds. They assume the mind is fixed. Either you are confident or you are not. Either you are calm or you are not. This belief is false. The mind can be trained the same way a muscle is trained. Through practice, repetition, and discipline, you can build focus, confidence, resilience, and emotional control. Think about athletes. The best athletes in the world are not just physically strong, they are mentally unstoppable. They face pressure, setbacks, and challenges, but their mental training allows them to stay calm, focused, and determined. The same applies in business, relationships, and everyday life. Mental training separates the winners from the rest. So what exactly is mental training? It is the deliberate practice of three key areas: focus, resilience, and emotional mastery. First, focus. The human mind is naturally distracted. Every day, you are surrounded by noise, social media, notifications, worries, and other people's opinions. If you cannot control your attention, you cannot control your life. Mental training teaches you to direct your focus toward what matters and ignore distractions. Second, resilience. Life is full of setbacks. No one escapes failures, rejections, or disappointments. But the difference between those who rise and those who quit is resilience. Mental training makes you bounce back faster, see setbacks as lessons, and continue moving forward even when things get tough. Third, emotional mastery. Emotions can either be your greatest strength or your biggest weakness. Anger, fear, and doubt can destroy opportunities. But calmness, confidence, and determination can open doors. Mental training helps you master your emotions so they serve you instead of control you. To understand the power of mental training, let's look at a simple example. Imagine two people face the same failure. One person collapses, says "I'm not good enough," and gives up. The other person says, "This is tough, but I will learn," and try again. The situation is the same, but the outcomes are completely different. Why? Because of mental training. One mind was weak, the other was strong. Another powerful example comes from soldiers. In the military, soldiers are trained not only physically, but mentally. They learn to stay calm under fire, to think clearly when exhausted, and to keep moving when everything in their body wants to quit. That mental training allows them to succeed in the harshest conditions. Now imagine applying even a small part of that mental discipline to your everyday life. How much stronger would you become? The truth is, winning in every situation does not mean you will never fail. It means that even when you fail, you keep moving until you turn the situation in your favor. That is the true power of mental training. It gives you the strength to face any challenge and the confidence to know you will overcome it. So how do you begin? Mental training starts with awareness. You must become aware of your thoughts. Every day your mind produces thousands of thoughts. Some are empowering, others are destructive. If you allow negative thoughts to dominate, your actions will weaken. But if you guide your thoughts, you can guide your life. A simple exercise is this. Every time you face a challenge, ask yourself, what would a winner think right now? This question shifts your focus. Instead of thinking like a victim, you begin to think like a victor. Over time, this habit rewires your brain. Another practice is visualization. Winners visualize success before it happens. An athlete imagines crossing the finish line. A speaker imagines delivering a powerful talk. A student imagines passing the exam with confidence. Visualization programs the mind to believe in victory, and the mind then drives the body toward making it real. But the most important part of mental training is consistency. You cannot train your mind once and expect results forever. Just like the body, the mind needs daily practice. Read powerful books, listen to inspiring content, reflect on your experiences, challenge your negative beliefs. Over time, your mental strength will grow, and you will notice that situations which once felt impossible now feel manageable. Mental training is the ultimate key to success. With it, you can stay calm when others panic, keep going when others quit, and win when others give up. Without it, even the best opportunities will slip through your fingers. As we move into the next chapter, remember this: the power to win is already inside you, but it must be trained. And the more you train your mind, the more unstoppable you become. Chapter 2: Shifting from Victim to Victor Mindset. Every day, you face situations that test your mindset. Some are small, like traffic jams, annoying coworkers, or unexpected bills. Others are much bigger, like losing a job, failing at something important, or being betrayed by someone you trust. The way you respond to these situations decides whether you live as a victim or as a victor. A victim mindset says, "Life is happening to me. I have no control. Everything is unfair." A victor mindset says, "Life is happening for me. I cannot control everything, but I can control my response. I can grow stronger from this." This shift in thinking is the foundation of mental strength. Without it, you will always feel powerless. With it, you will find a way to win, no matter what happens. Let's begin with the victim mindset. People with this mindset believe their problems are always caused by others. If they fail, it's because the teacher was unfair, the boss was biased, or the system is broken. If something bad happens, they see themselves as unlucky. They wait for rescue, they wait for someone to give them opportunities, and when nothing changes, they complain. But here's the truth: waiting never brings success. Blaming never creates growth. A victim mindset keeps you stuck because it convinces you that you are powerless. Now, think of the victor mindset. Victors face the same problems, but they respond differently. Instead of saying, "Why me?" they ask, "What can I do?" Instead of blaming, they take responsibility. Even when something unfair happens, they don't waste energy on complaints. They use that energy to take action. One powerful example is Thomas Edison, the inventor of the light bulb. He failed thousands of times before finding success. Most people would have said, "I'm unlucky. I'm a victim of failure." But Edison thought like a victor. He said, "I didn't fail. I just found thousands of ways that don't work." That mindset kept him going until he succeeded. The same is true in everyday life. Imagine two people lose their jobs. The victim says, "Life is unfair. I'll never get ahead." They stay stuck in anger or depression. The victor says, "This is hard, but maybe it's a chance to find a better path." They start learning new skills, applying for new roles, and eventually they find something greater. So how do you shift from victim to victor mindset? The first step is responsibility. You must take responsibility for your life. This does not mean everything is your fault, but it does mean everything is your responsibility. If someone wrongs you, it's not your fault, but how you respond is your responsibility. If circumstances are tough, you may not have caused them, but finding solutions is your responsibility. Responsibility gives you power, while blame takes it away. The second step is language. Listen to the words you use. Victims say, I can't, I have to. It's not fair. Victors say, I will, I choose to. I'll find a way. Language shapes belief, and belief shapes action. Start replacing victim words with victor words, and your mind will follow. The third step is perspective. Victims see obstacles as permanent. Victors see obstacles as temporary. Victims see challenges as punishment. Victors see challenges as preparation. Life is not against you. It is training you. When you adopt this perspective, every struggle becomes an opportunity to grow stronger. The fourth step is action. Victors act even when they don't feel ready. Victims wait for perfect conditions. Victors know there will never be perfect conditions, so they start anyway. Action creates momentum, and momentum creates progress. Think of Nelson Mandela. He spent 27 years in prison. Most people would break under such injustice. But Mandela chose a victor mindset. He used prison as a time to strengthen his mind, deepen his vision, and prepare for leadership. When he was finally free, he became one of the greatest leaders in history. He proved that even in the darkest situations, a victor mindset creates victory. You might be wondering, but what if life really is unfair? What if I truly face obstacles that others don't? The answer is still the same. A victim mindset will not change your reality. It will only make it worse. A victor mindset may not erase the obstacles, but it gives you the strength to rise above them. Another way to shift your mindset is by changing the question you ask yourself. Victims ask, why me? Victors ask, what now? Why me? Focuses on the past and keeps you stuck. What now? Focuses on the present and moves you forward. Here's a simple practice. Next time you face a challenge, pause and say, I choose to respond as a victor. It may feel strange at first, but over time your brain will rewire. You will start seeing yourself as someone capable of winning. Remember this, being a victor doesn't mean you will never feel pain, sadness, or frustration. It means you won't let those feelings control your future. It means that no matter how many times life knocks you down, you will stand back up stronger. This shift from victim to victor is not just about motivation, it is about identity. Victims identify as powerless. Victors identify as powerful. When you see yourself as a victor, your entire life begins to align with that identity. You start making choices that match the belief that you are capable of winning. In every situation, ask yourself, am I thinking like a victim or like a victor? That one question can change your life. Because when you think like a victor, you act like a victor. And when you act like a victor, eventually you win like a victor. As we move into the next chapter, remember this truth. You cannot always control what happens to you, but you can always control how you respond, and that response is what separates victims from victors. Chapter 3: Building Mental Discipline. Discipline is the bridge between goals and achievements. It is the invisible force that takes you from where you are to where you want to be. Many people talk about motivation, but motivation alone is not enough. Motivation is like a spark. It comes and goes. Discipline is like the firewood. It keeps burning even when the spark disappears. If you want to train your mind to win in every situation, discipline must become your foundation. Think about athletes. They don't always feel like training. They don't always feel like waking up early, pushing their bodies and following strict routines. But they do it anyway. Why? Because they have discipline. They understand that feelings come and go, but habits stay. If they only acted when they felt motivated, they would never reach greatness. Discipline is what makes champions. So, what exactly is mental discipline? It is the ability to control your actions, thoughts, and emotions, even when it's hard. It is the power to do what you should do, not just what you feel like doing. A disciplined mind says, I don't want to do this right now, but I will, because my future depends on it. That inner voice is what separates ordinary people from winners. Let's break it down. There are 3 areas of discipline. Discipline of action, doing the right things consistently, whether you feel like it or not. Discipline of thought, controlling your focus and not letting negativity or distraction dominate your mind. Discipline of emotion, not letting anger, fear, or excitement make you lose control. When you master these 3, you gain control of your life. Take the discipline of action first. Imagine you decide to work on your fitness. On day 1, you feel excited. You hit the gym, run hard, maybe even push more than usual. But on day 10, the excitement fades. You're tired, busy, and not in the mood. That's the moment most people quit, but a disciplined person keeps going. They show up even when it's inconvenient. Over time, this consistency produces results. While others quit, they win. Next is the discipline of thought. The human brain naturally looks for comfort and avoids pain. That's why distractions are so tempting. Social media, games, gossip, these are easy escapes. But winners discipline their minds to stay focused. They train themselves to say, not now, I'll finish my work first. It's not easy, but it's powerful. Focus is a muscle and discipline is how you strengthen it. Then comes the discipline of emotion. Imagine you're in a tough negotiation or a heated argument. If you let anger take over, you might say or do something that ruins the situation. If fear controls you, you might back down when you should stand firm. But when you have emotional discipline, you stay calm under pressure. You make decisions based on logic, not impulse. This is a key trait of leaders and winners. One of the best examples of discipline is the life of Kobe Bryant. He was one of the greatest basketball players of all time. But what truly made him legendary was his discipline. He was known to wake up at 4 a.m. to practice. Even after winning championships, he didn't relax. He worked harder. He once said, I don't count my training hours. I just train until I'm done. That level of discipline is what created his legacy. You might say, but I'm not an athlete. Do I really need that much discipline? The answer is yes. Because discipline is not just for sports, it's for every area of life. If you want to study, you need discipline to stay consistent. If you want to build a business, you need discipline to work even when profits are low. If you want strong relationships, you need discipline to communicate, to listen, to show patience. Discipline is not about one part of life, it is about all of life. Now, how do you build discipline if you don't have it yet? The first step is small commitments. Many people fail because they start too big. They say, I'll read for 2 hours every day, or I'll run 5 miles daily. But after a few days, they give up. The secret is to start small. Commit to reading 10 minutes a day. Commit to running for 10 minutes. Once you master small commitments, you can increase them. Discipline grows like a muscle, slowly but surely. The second step is consistency over intensity. Doing a little every day is better than doing a lot once in a while. If you study 1 hour daily, you will learn more in a year than someone who studies 10 hours only once a month. Winners understand that consistency compounds. Small, disciplined actions repeated daily create massive results over time. The third step is remove temptation. Discipline is easier when your environment supports it. If you want to eat healthy, don't keep junk food in your house. If you want to focus, put your phone away. Willpower is limited, but environment design makes discipline easier. The fourth step is self-respect. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you build self-respect. Every time you break a promise, you lose trust in yourself. Discipline is about keeping your own word, even when no one is watching. When you say, I will wake up early, and you actually do, You send a message to your mind. I can rely on myself. Over time, this creates unshakable confidence. Another powerful technique is delayed gratification. This means choosing long-term rewards over short-term pleasure. Victims give in to instant pleasure, watching TV instead of working, eating junk food instead of staying fit. Victors train their minds to wait. They say, I'll sacrifice now for a greater reward later. Research shows that people who master delayed gratification are more successful in career, health, and relationships. Think of discipline like a bank account. Every small disciplined action is a deposit. Skipping discipline is a withdrawal. Over time, those who keep depositing build massive wealth in skills, health, and opportunities. Those who withdraw end up empty. Now, you might be asking, but what if I fail? What if I break my discipline? The answer is simple. Start again. Discipline is not perfection, it is persistence. Winners also fail, but they don't stay down. They reset and keep going. Every time you restart, you become stronger. Building mental discipline also requires patience. Results don't come overnight. You might study for weeks and see no progress. You might save money and see no big difference. But trust the process. Small actions, done daily, always add up. Discipline is like planting seeds. You may not see growth immediately, but under the surface, roots are forming. One day the tree will appear. Finally, remember this. Discipline is freedom. Many people think discipline is a cage. It takes away fun and spontaneity, but the truth is the opposite. Lack of discipline traps you. If you lack financial discipline, you live in debt. If you lack health discipline, you live in sickness. If you lack emotional discipline, you live in chaos. Discipline is what sets you free. Free to achieve, free to enjoy, free to win. So, as you continue this journey, make discipline your foundation. Motivation will fade. Inspiration will come and go. But discipline will carry you forward. Every great victory in life is built on the quiet, unseen moments of discipline, the times you chose to do the hard thing instead of the easy thing. And here's the secret. The more you practice discipline, the easier it becomes. At first it feels heavy, but eventually it becomes part of who you are. You no longer fight with yourself. You simply act. That is when discipline transforms into identity. When your identity becomes I am a disciplined person, everything changes. You don't need to force yourself anymore, because discipline is who you are. That is the ultimate power of mental discipline. It shapes not just what you do, but who you become. Fear and doubt are two of the biggest enemies of success. They live inside your mind and whisper, you can't do it. You're not ready. What if you fail? What will people say? These voices stop millions of people from even trying. They paralyze dreams before they have a chance to grow. If you want to train your mind to win in every situation, you must learn how to overcome fear and doubt. Chapter 4. Overcoming fear and doubt. Let's start with fear. Fear is natural. It is part of being human. Our ancestors needed fear to survive. Fear kept them alert to danger, like wild animals or enemies. But today, most fears are not about survival. They are about rejection, failure, embarrassment, or uncertainty. Your brain still reacts as if it's life or death, but in reality, it is not. Think about it. Fear of public speaking is one of the most common fears in the world. But does standing on a stage actually put your life in danger? No, yet people feel the same panic as if they were facing a tiger. Why? Because the brain treats social rejection like physical danger. The truth is, fear often lies. It exaggerates risk and hides opportunity. Doubt is similar. Doubt is the little voice that says, you're not good enough. You don't have what it takes. Doubt makes you question your abilities, your dreams, and your worth. It doesn't shout, it whispers, and those whispers can be powerful. If you believe them, you'll never take the steps needed to grow. So how do winners deal with fear and doubt? They don't pretend these feelings don't exist. They acknowledge them, but they don't let them control their actions. They learn to act in spite of fear, to move forward even when doubt is loud. That is the secret. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is action in the presence of fear. First, face your fear directly. Most fears grow bigger in your imagination than in reality. If you're afraid of speaking, practice speaking. If you're afraid of rejection, put yourself in situations where rejection is possible. Each time you face fear, it loses power. Avoiding fear makes it grow. Facing fear makes it shrink. One of the best examples of this is Thomas Edison. He faced thousands of failures before inventing the light bulb. People doubted him. They laughed at him. Some said he was wasting his time. But Edison didn't let fear of failure stop him. He once said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." That mindset turned fear into fuel. Let's break down some strategies to overcome fear and doubt. Second, reframe failure. Many people fear failure because they see it as the end. But winners see failure as feedback. Every failure is a lesson, a step closer to success. Think of failure as training. When you go to the gym, your muscles hurt. That pain is not weakness, it is growth. Failure works the same way for your mind. Third, replace negative self-talk with positive self-talk. Fear and doubt often start with your own thoughts. If your inner voice says, "I can't do this," you believe it. But you can train your mind to say, "I will try. I will learn. I can grow." Words matter. Speak to yourself the way you would encourage a friend. Tell yourself, "I've got this. I am capable." Over time, your mind will believe it. Fourth, visualization. Picture yourself succeeding. See the moment clearly in your mind, how it looks, how it feels, how it sounds. Athletes use this technique all the time. Before running a race, they imagine crossing the finish line. This creates confidence and reduces fear because your brain starts to believe you've already done it. Seventh, accept uncertainty. Part of fear comes from not knowing what will happen. But life is always uncertain. The truth is, you can never control everything. Winners learn to act even when the outcome is not guaranteed. They trust themselves to handle whatever happens. Fifth, prepare and practice. Fear often comes from feeling unprepared. If you fear an exam, study more. If you fear a presentation, practice until it feels natural. Preparation builds confidence, and confidence kills fear. The more ready you are, the less fear has control over you. Sixth, take small steps. You don't need to overcome fear in one giant leap. Start small. If you fear speaking, speak in front of one friend first, then a group of friends, then a small audience. Each step builds courage. Small victories lead to big wins. Eighth, surround yourself with courage. Fear spreads, but so does courage. If you spend time with fearful people, you'll absorb their doubts. If you spend time with bold, confident people, you'll absorb their energy. Your environment shapes your mindset. Choose wisely. Let's talk about doubt now. Doubt often hides behind excuses. I don't have enough experience. I'm too young. I'm too old. I don't have the right background. But history is full of people who started with nothing and still achieved greatness. Doubt tries to convince you that you're not ready. The truth is, no one ever feels fully ready. You grow by starting. Take Oprah Winfrey. She grew up in poverty, faced rejection, and was told she didn't belong in television. Imagine if she listened to doubt. She would never have become one of the most influential women in the world. Instead, she chose to act. Despite her doubts, she built her confidence through action. That's another key. Confidence is built, not born. Most people think confident people never doubt themselves. That's false. Everyone doubts. The difference is, Confident people act anyway. Every action you take builds evidence that you are capable. Every time you face a challenge and survive, you prove to yourself that you can handle it. Confidence is simply the memory of past wins. Another powerful idea is this: fear and doubt often point to growth. If something scares you, it probably means it matters. Fear is usually a sign you are about to step outside your comfort zone. And outside the comfort zone is where growth happens. Instead of running from fear, see it as a guide. Ask yourself, what is this fear trying to teach me? Here's a mental trick. Next time you feel fear or doubt, instead of saying, I'm nervous, say, I'm excited. The physical feelings are the same. Your heart races, your palms sweat, your breath quickens. But the label changes everything. Nervous means danger. Excited means opportunity. Train your mind to choose excitement. Remember this: fear and doubt never fully disappear. Even the most successful people feel them. The difference is, they don't wait until fear is gone. They act anyway. If you wait until you're fearless, you will wait forever. Courage is about moving forward while afraid. Think of fear and doubt like shadows. They look big and scary, but they cannot touch you. The only way they control you is if you stop moving. Keep walking, and the shadow fades behind you. Let me give you a simple formula. Feel the fear. Do it anyway. Learn from the result. Repeat. That cycle is how you build a winning mind. So the next time fear whispers, you can't, answer back. Watch me. When doubt says, you're not ready, reply, I will never be ready if I don't start. This is how you train your mind to win in every situation, by refusing to let fear and doubt decide your future. Chapter 5: Emotional Control in High-Pressure Moments. Life is full of high-pressure moments. Exams, interviews, business meetings, public speaking, competitions, and even tough conversations can create intense emotions. In these moments, your emotions can either help you win or cause you to lose. If you don't control them, they will control you. Training your mind to win in every situation means mastering your emotions, especially when the pressure is highest. Let's start with a simple truth. Emotions are not your enemy. They are signals from your mind and body. Fear warns you of risk. Anger signals that a boundary has been crossed. Excitement tells you something matters. The problem is not emotions themselves. It is when they overpower your logic and control your actions. Think of a professional athlete. When the game is on the line, pressure is at its peak. The crowd is screaming. The clock is screaming. The clock is running out. And every move matters. If the athlete lets panic take over, they miss the shot. But if they control their emotions, they focus, act with clarity, and perform at their best. Winners are not people who never feel pressure. Winners are people who stay calm when the pressure rises. One of the best examples is Michael Jordan. He played in countless high-pressure games. What made him legendary was not just his skill, but his ability to stay composed when others collapsed under pressure. He said, I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. 26 times, I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. I've failed over and over again, and that is why I succeed. His failures never controlled his emotions. Instead, he turned pressure into power. So, how do you gain emotional control in your own life? Let's break it down step by step. First, awareness. You cannot control what you are not aware of. Many people are controlled by emotions without realizing it. They snap in anger, freeze in fear, or collapse in stress. The first step is to notice your emotions as they arise. Ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? Why am I feeling it? Naming an emotion gives you power over it. Instead of being lost in it, you observe it. Second, breathing. It sounds simple, but breathing is one of the fastest ways to control emotions. When you are nervous or stressed, your body goes into fight or flight mode. Your heart races, Your muscles tense, your thoughts speed up. Deep breathing slows everything down. Inhale deeply through your nose, hold for a moment, exhale slowly through your mouth. This signals to your brain, I am safe. Within minutes, you feel calmer and more in control. Third, shift your focus. In high-pressure moments, emotions grow stronger when you focus on the wrong things. If you keep thinking, what if I fail? What if I embarrass myself? Your fear rises. Instead, focus on the process. Athletes focus on technique. Speakers focus on delivering their message. Students focus on solving the problem. Step by step, where your focus goes, your emotions follow. Fourth, separate feelings from actions. Just because you feel nervous doesn't mean you must act nervously. Just because you feel angry doesn't mean you must shout. Winners learn to pause between emotion and reaction. When you feel an emotion, stop. Take a breath, then choose your response consciously. This is the difference between reacting and responding. Fifth, use pressure as fuel. Pressure is not always negative. It can sharpen your focus and increase your energy. Think about how many people procrastinate until the last minute. Suddenly, with a deadline, they do amazing work. Pressure pushed them to perform. Instead of seeing pressure as a threat, see it as a challenge. Tell yourself, this pressure is energy. I will use it to perform at my best. Sixth, mental rehearsal. Before facing a high-pressure moment, imagine yourself in it. Picture the situation clearly. See yourself calm, confident, and focused. Athletes practice this all the time. They visualize the crowd, the noise, the pressure, and then see themselves succeeding. When the real moment comes, their mind already feels prepared. Seventh, reframe mistakes. High-pressure moments often create fear of mistakes, but mistakes are part of growth. If you fear them too much, you freeze. Winners see mistakes as feedback. They learn, adjust, and keep going. This mindset removes unnecessary emotional weight. Instead of saying, if I fail, it's over, say, if I fail, I will learn and try again. Eighth, body language control. Emotions affect your body, and your body affects your emotions. If you slump, avoid eye contact, and breathe shallow, you will feel weak. If you stand tall, lift your head, and breathe deeply, you feel stronger. Before a big moment, adjust your posture. Your body will send signals of confidence to your mind. Ninth, stay present. Anxiety often comes from thinking too much about the future. Regret comes from replaying the past. Emotional control is about staying in the present moment. Focus on what is in front of you right now. Ask yourself, what is the next small action I need to take? Stay here, stay now. 10th, train under pressure. You cannot learn emotional control only in calm situations. You must practice in stressful environments. That's why soldiers train with loud noises and chaos. That's why athletes practice with screaming crowds. In your own life, put yourself in slightly uncomfortable situations on purpose. Over time, you build resilience. Pressure stops feeling overwhelming and starts feeling normal. Let's consider an example. Imagine you are about to give a presentation. Your hands are shaking, your heart is racing, and your mind is full of what-if thoughts. Here's how you apply emotional control. Step 1. Notice your feelings. Say to yourself, I feel nervous. That's normal. Step 2. Breathe deeply for a few cycles. Calm your body. Step 3. Shift focus. Instead of thinking, what if I fail? Think, I am here to share value. Step 4. Stand tall, smile, and project confidence with your body. Step 5. Begin speaking, focusing only on one sentence at a time. By following these steps, you transform nerves into energy and perform with clarity. Here's a powerful truth. Your emotions are not stronger than you. You are stronger than them. Most people live as slaves to their emotions. If they feel sad, they stay sad. If they feel angry, they act angry. If they feel afraid, they hide. But you can train your mind to rise above feelings. You can choose your response no matter what you feel. That is real strength. Another important point: high-pressure moments reveal your training. When pressure rises, you don't rise to the occasion, you fall to the level of your preparation. If you want to stay calm under pressure, practice calm daily. Meditate, breathe, visualize, expose yourself to challenges, build emotional control like a muscle. One rep at a time. Remember the story of astronauts. When they go to space, the pressure is beyond imagination. One mistake can cost lives, yet they stay calm. How? Because they train over and over for every possible scenario. By the time they face the real thing, they have rehearsed it thousands of times. Their mind knows what to do. You don't need to be an astronaut to apply this. In your own life, prepare for challenges in advance. If you know an interview is coming, practice questions with a friend. If you know a tough conversation is ahead, rehearse what you want to say. Preparation reduces emotional chaos. Finally, remember this mantra: control yourself, and you control the situation. Lose yourself, and you lose the situation. In every high-pressure moment, others may panic, but you can be the calm center. While others freeze, you move with clarity. While others break, you stay steady. That calm confidence gives you the power to win when it matters most. So the next time life tests you with pressure, don't fight your emotions and don't deny them. Acknowledge them. Breathe through them. Use them as fuel. Then act with control. Because emotional control is not about having no feelings, it's about mastering them. And when you master your emotions, you master the moment. Chapter 6. The Art of Positive Self-Talk. The way you talk to yourself matters more than the way anyone else talks to you. Every day, there is a voice inside your head. It comments on everything you do. It says things like, "You can do this," or "You're not good enough." That voice shapes your confidence, your emotions, and even your actions. The truth is, your self-talk can either build you or break you. If you want to train your mind to win in every situation, you must master the art of positive self-talk. Think about this. If someone else spoke to you the way you sometimes speak to yourself, would you accept it? If a friend said, "You're stupid," "You're going to fail," "You'll never succeed," you would walk away. Yet many people allow their own mind to say these words daily. They repeat negative thoughts until they start believing them. This is called negative self-talk, and it is one of the biggest reasons people quit before reaching their potential. But here's the good news. Just like you can train your body in the gym, you can train your self-talk in your mind. You can replace the voice of doubt with the voice of strength. You can teach yourself to use words that motivate, encourage, and guide you forward. Let's look at an example. Imagine two students before an exam. The first student says to himself, "I always fail. I'm not smart enough. This exam is too hard." His brain believes it. He feels nervous, loses focus, and struggles to remember what he studied. The second student says, "I've prepared well. I may not know everything, but I will do my best. I am capable." His brain believes it too. He feels calmer, focuses better, and recalls more answers. Same exam, different results. The only difference is their self-talk. Now, let's understand how self-talk works. Your brain listens to the words you repeat most often. When you keep saying negative things, your brain builds a pattern of fear and doubt. When you repeat positive things, your brain builds a pattern of confidence and strength. Over time, these patterns become your identity. That is why changing your words can change your life. Here are some strategies to master positive self-talk. First, catch your negative voice. Most people don't even notice when they speak negatively to themselves. They say things like, "I can't do this," "I always mess up," or "I'll never succeed." The first step is awareness. Start paying attention to your inner dialogue. When you hear a negative thought, pause and label it. That's negative self-talk. Awareness gives you the power to change it. Second, replace. Don't erase. You cannot stop a thought by fighting it. The more you resist it, the stronger it gets. Instead, replace it with a better one. If you think, I can't do this, replace it with, I will try my best, and I can improve. If you think, I'm not good enough, replace it with, I am learning and growing every day. Replacing builds a new habit of thought. Third, use affirmations. Affirmations are short, powerful statements you repeat daily. They reprogram your subconscious mind. Examples: I am strong and capable. I can handle any challenge. I grow through every experience. I believe in myself. At first, affirmations may feel strange, especially if you don't fully believe them. But over time, repetition creates belief. Just like water shapes stone drop by drop, affirmations shape your self-image word by word. Fourth, speak to yourself like a coach, not a critic. Imagine a sports coach. A good coach doesn't say, you're terrible, you'll never win. Instead, the coach encourages, guides, and pushes you to improve. Be that kind of coach to yourself. When you make a mistake, instead of saying, I'm useless, say, okay, I made a mistake. What can I learn? How can I improve next time? Positive self-talk doesn't ignore problems, it addresses them with solutions, not insults. Fifth, turn I can't into how can I. Language shapes thinking. When you say I can't, your brain shuts down. When you ask how can I, your brain searches for answers. Instead of I can't get fit, ask how can I improve my health step by step. Instead of I can't be successful, ask how can I create opportunities for success. The shift is small but powerful. 6. Surround yourself with positive voices. Self-talk is influenced by the voices around you. If you spend time with negative people who complain, doubt, and criticize, you will absorb their language. If you spend time with positive, encouraging, and motivated people, you will start speaking like them. Choose your environment carefully because it shapes your inner voice. 7th, visualize your best self. Close your eyes and imagine the best version of yourself. Picture how that version speaks, acts, and thinks. Then start talking to yourself as if you are already that person. If your best self is confident, tell yourself, I am confident. If your best self is disciplined, tell yourself, I am disciplined. Over time, you will align your actions with your words. 8th, practice gratitude in self-talk. Gratitude shifts your mind from what you lack to what you have. Instead of saying, I'm not successful yet, say, I'm grateful for the progress I've made. Instead of, I'm not smart enough, say, I'm thankful for the opportunity to keep learning. Gratitude builds positivity in your language and your outlook. Now let's talk about the science. Studies show that positive self-talk reduces stress, improves performance, and builds resilience. Athletes who use positive self-talk perform better under pressure. Students who practice positive self-talk achieve higher grades. Even in health, patients who maintain positive self-talk recover faster. Words are not just sounds, they are mental programming. Here's an exercise you can do. For 1 week, write down every negative thought you notice. Then, next to it, write a positive replacement. For example, negative, I always fail. Positive, I learn from mistakes and improve. Negative, I'm not confident. Positive, I am becoming more confident every day. Negative, this is impossible. Positive, this is challenging, but I can figure it out. By writing these replacements, you train your brain to shift automatically. Let's also look at how positive self-talk works in real situations. Imagine you are about to give a speech. Negative self-talk says, everyone will laugh at me, I will forget my words. I'm not good at this. Positive self-talk says, I have prepared well. I will speak with confidence. I am here to share my message. Which version gives you better results? Obviously the second one. Or consider an athlete about to run a race. Negative self-talk. I'm too slow. I'll probably lose. Others are better. Positive self-talk. I have trained hard. I will give my best. I am ready. That shift in words creates a shift in energy. Here's another example. You fail a test. Negative self-talk. I'm stupid. I'll never succeed. Positive self-talk. I didn't do well this time, but I will study differently and improve. This failure is temporary. The second version keeps you moving forward. Remember, self-talk is not about lying to yourself. It's not about pretending everything is perfect. It's about choosing words that empower you instead of destroy you. Positive self-talk acknowledges challenges, but focuses on solutions. Another important principle: speak in the present tense. Don't say, one day I will be confident. Say, I am confident. Your brain responds more strongly to present tense by saying it as if it is already true. You create the identity first, and the behavior follows. Finally, consistency matters. Positive self-talk is not a one-time event. It is a daily habit. You must practice it every morning, every challenge, every setback. Over time, it becomes automatic. Negative thoughts may still appear, but they will no longer control you. Instead, your inner voice becomes your biggest ally. Here's a simple mantra you can carry with you. I can. I will. I must. Repeat it whenever doubt arises. These words have carried soldiers through battle, athletes through finals, and ordinary people through extraordinary challenges. In the end, the art of positive self-talk is really the art of self-belief. When you speak to yourself with strength, you start to believe in your strength. When you believe, you act. And when you act, you win. So train your inner voice. Make it your coach, your guide, your supporter. Because the most important conversation you will ever have is not with your boss, your teacher, or your family. It is the one you have with yourself every single day. And if that conversation is filled with power, positivity, and belief, there is no situation you cannot win. Chapter 7: Visualization. Seeing the win before it happens. Before every victory, there is a vision. Athletes see themselves crossing the finish line before they even run. Entrepreneurs imagine their business succeeding before they open the doors. Speakers picture the applause before they step onto the stage. This is the power of visualization. Training your mind to experience success before it happens in reality. Visualization is not fantasy. It is not about daydreaming without action. It is a mental rehearsal. Just like a pilot uses a flight simulator to practice flying before taking control of a real plane, you can use visualization to practice winning before stepping into real situations. When you train your mind with vivid mental images, your body and actions follow. Think about professional athletes. Studies have shown that when basketball players visualize shooting free throws, their brain activity is almost the same as when they physically practice. Their muscles fire in small ways, their nervous system prepares, and their confidence grows. In fact, some athletes improve their performance almost as much through visualization as through physical training. This shows that the mind cannot fully distinguish between a vividly imagined experience and a real one. That's why visualization is such a powerful tool. Let's break down how visualization works. First, your brain creates neural pathways based on experiences. The more you repeat an action, the stronger those pathways become. When you visualize an action, your brain strengthens similar pathways, as if you had performed it physically. That means you are programming your brain to expect success. And when the real situation arrives, you feel prepared because your mind has already been there. Second, visualization reduces fear. Many people fail not because they lack skills, but because they freeze under pressure. fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of the unknown. These emotions stop them. Visualization helps you rehearse success, making the unknown feel familiar. When you step into the real moment, it feels like you've already lived it. That confidence destroys fear. Now let's see how you can practice visualization. Step 1. Find a quiet space. Sit comfortably. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Relax your body. Your goal is to create a calm mental environment. Step 2. Choose a specific goal. Visualization works best when it is clear. Don't just say, "I want success." Instead, imagine yourself giving a presentation at work, running a marathon, or passing an exam. The more specific, the better. Step 3. Add detail. See the environment around you. Imagine the colors, sounds, even smells. If you are preparing for a job interview, picture the room, the chair you sit in, the interviewer's face, the sound of your voice as you answer questions. The detail makes it real. Step 4. Engage your emotions. Don't just see success, feel it. Imagine the pride, the confidence, the excitement of winning. Emotions lock the memory deeper into your brain. When you visualize with emotion, your mind believes it more strongly. Step 5. Repeat often. Like any habit, visualization works through repetition. Doing it once may feel good, but daily practice builds real power. Spend even 5 minutes every morning visualizing your day going well, your goals being achieved, and your best self showing up. Over weeks and months, this repetition shapes your belief system. Let's consider an example. Imagine a student preparing for a speech contest. Without visualization, she feels nervous, thinks about forgetting her lines, and imagines people laughing. Fear grows. Performance drops. With visualization, she closes her eyes daily and pictures herself walking confidently to the stage, speaking clearly, the audience nodding and clapping, and judges smiling. She feels that confidence before the event. When the real day comes, her body naturally follows the script her mind has practiced. Another example. An athlete preparing for a race. He visualizes every step, tying his shoes, standing at the starting line, hearing the gun, running smoothly, crossing the finish line first, raising his hands in victory. His body memorizes the feeling of success. On race day, instead of anxiety, he feels prepared. Visualization also helps in everyday life. Before a meeting at work, visualize yourself speaking with clarity. Before a workout, visualize yourself finishing strong. Even before a difficult conversation with a friend or family member, visualize it going peacefully. These small practices build confidence and reduce stress. But here is the key: visualization must be paired with action. If you only imagine success but never take steps, it becomes fantasy. But if you visualize and then act, the results multiply. Visualization prepares the mind, and action makes it real. Let's also look at the deeper science. Psychologists call this mental imagery practice. When you visualize, your brain releases neurotransmitters like dopamine and serotonin. These chemicals are linked with motivation and confidence. That's why visualization doesn't just prepare you. It also inspires you to keep working. It makes your goals feel possible. Now, let's deal with some mistakes people make with visualization. Mistake 1. Visualizing only the end result. Many people imagine themselves already successful, like holding the trophy or standing on stage. That's good, but incomplete. You must also visualize the process. Picture yourself training, practicing, preparing. See yourself overcoming small struggles and pushing forward. This builds resilience as well as confidence. Mistake 2. Not being specific. If you say, "I want to be rich," your mind has no clear picture. Instead, visualize yourself starting a business, providing value, seeing your first sales, growing step by step. Specific pictures create stronger mental programming. Mistake 3. Using negative images. If you keep visualizing failure, you are training your mind to expect it. Some people say, "I keep imagining myself forgetting the speech." That is visualization too, but in the wrong direction. Train your brain toward success, not failure. Mistake 4. Not feeling emotions. A picture without emotion is weak. The brain learns best when feelings are attached. Smile, breathe deeply, and feel the joy of success as you visualize. That emotion tells your brain, "This is real, this is powerful." So how do you integrate visualization into your daily life? Here are some simple routines. Every morning, before checking your phone, close your eyes for 2 minutes. Picture your day going well. See yourself being productive, confident, and calm. Before a challenge, spend 5 minutes visualizing yourself succeeding at it. Whether it's a test, a meeting, or a workout, picture it clearly. Every night before bed, imagine your long-term goals already achieved. Feel the pride and gratitude of having reached them. This programs your subconscious while you sleep. Visualization also connects to self-talk, which we discussed earlier. While visualizing, repeat positive affirmations. For example, "I am confident, I am capable, I succeed in my goals." The combination of images and words creates a stronger effect. One of the best real-world examples of visualization comes from Olympic athletes. Many gold medalists say they saw themselves winning thousands of times in their minds before the actual race. When the real event came, it felt familiar. It was simply the body following the script the mind had written. Even great leaders and entrepreneurs use visualization. They imagine their business thriving, their speeches inspiring crowds, their innovations changing lives. This mental practice gives them direction and belief. Without belief, action is weak. With belief, action becomes unstoppable. Remember, the mind does not just react to reality, it creates it. By visualizing success, you shape your reality before it happens. You are telling your brain, "This is who I am, this is what I do, this is where I'm going." And your brain listens. So, start practicing visualization today. Don't wait for the big moment. Use it for small daily wins. Visualize yourself staying calm in traffic, eating healthy meals, finishing a project, or speaking kindly to someone. Small victories build confidence for big ones. Winning in every situation begins in the mind. If you see yourself winning first, your actions will naturally align. The world follows the script you write inside. So write a script of victory. Play it in your mind every day. And when the real test comes, you will already know how it ends, because you've seen the win before it happened. Chapter 8. Building resilience through mental training. Life is never a straight road. It is full of twists, turns, bumps, and unexpected storms. The difference between those who succeed and those who give up is not that one faces fewer problems. Everyone faces challenges. The difference is resilience, the ability to bounce back after being knocked down. Resilience is the mental strength that allows you to rise again when life pushes you down. It is not about avoiding failure. It is about refusing to stay down after failure. Think of resilience like a rubber ball. No matter how hard you throw it, it bounces back. The same should be true for your mind. No matter how tough life gets, you train yourself to rise again. Many people think resilience is something you are either born with or not. But the truth is, resilience can be trained. Just like you train your muscles in the gym, you can train your mind to recover from difficulties. And the more you train, the stronger you become. Why is resilience so important? Because without it, even the smartest or most talented person can quit too soon. Talent can get you started, but resilience keeps you going. Success belongs to the one who refuses to give up, who keeps pushing even when the road is hard. Think about history. Every great leader, athlete, or innovator has faced rejection and failure. Thomas Edison failed thousands of times before creating the light bulb. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team. Oprah Winfrey was told she wasn't fit for television. What made them legends was not perfection, it was resilience. They refused to stop. Now let's break down how to build resilience through mental training. The first step is accepting that struggle is normal. Many people waste energy asking, why me? Why is life so hard? But the truth is, struggle is a part of growth. Just as muscles grow stronger by facing resistance, your mind grows stronger by facing challenges. When you accept that difficulties are part of the process, they stop feeling like unfair punishment. Instead, they become opportunities for growth. The second step is reframing failure. Most people see failure as an ending, but resilient people see it as feedback. Instead of saying, I failed, so I'm not good enough, they say, I failed, so now I know what to fix. This small shift in perspective makes all the difference. Failure becomes a stepping stone, not a roadblock. The third step is building emotional control. When you face setbacks, it is easy to get lost in anger, frustration, or sadness. But emotions are like storms. They pass. If you let emotions control you, they can push you to quit. Resilience means feeling the emotions, but not letting them decide your future. You breathe, you pause, and then you keep moving forward. The fourth step is training self-talk. The words you say to yourself in hard times matter more than anything. If you keep saying, I can't do this, you will believe it. But if you say, this is tough, but I can handle it, your mind begins to adapt. Resilient people talk to themselves like strong coaches, not harsh critics. They encourage themselves instead of tearing themselves down. The fifth step is developing patience. Resilience is not about instant recovery. Sometimes life hurts deeply, and it takes time to heal. But resilience means staying patient with yourself, giving yourself permission to move slowly, but never giving up completely. Healing is not a straight line, but as long as you keep moving, you are resilient. Let's bring this into real life with examples. Imagine someone loses their job. Without resilience, they might say, I'm a failure. I'll never find another opportunity. They stay stuck, lose confidence, and spiral down. With resilience, the same person says, this hurts, but it's not the end. I'll learn from this, update my skills, and look for something better. One person sinks, the other bounces back stronger. Or think about an athlete who suffers an injury. Without resilience, she quits and lets the injury define her. With resilience, she uses the time to build mental toughness, study strategy, and come back even better. The injury becomes part of her growth story instead of the end of her career. Building resilience also requires daily practices. One powerful practice is gratitude. When life feels tough, focusing on what is still good keeps you balanced. Write down 3 things you are grateful for every day. This trains your brain to see hope even in dark times. Another practice is visualization, which we already discussed. Visualize yourself overcoming setbacks. See yourself rising after failure. This mental rehearsal prepares your mind to respond with strength when real challenges come. A third practice is physical training. The mind and body are connected. Exercise builds discipline and confidence, which spill over into mental resilience. When you push your body through a tough workout, you train your brain to endure discomfort. That same toughness shows up when life tests you. A fourth practice is surrounding yourself with resilient people. Energy is contagious. If you spend time with people who always complain and quit, you will absorb their habits. But if you stay around people who push forward, you will learn to do the same. Science also supports resilience training. Psychologists say that people who develop a growth mindset, believing they can improve with effort, recover faster from setbacks. When you believe that struggle is part of growth, you naturally bounce back faster. On the other hand, people with a fixed mindset, believing they are either good enough or not, tend to give up after failure. Here's another science-backed insight. Resilience is built through exposure to challenges. If you protect yourself from every discomfort, you become fragile. But if you regularly face small challenges, cold showers, fasting, public speaking, difficult workouts, you train your brain to handle discomfort. Then when big challenges come, they don't break you. Let's return to the rubber ball example. The more you bounce it, the stronger it becomes. Your mind is the same. The more you push it to recover, the easier recovery becomes. Resilience is not about avoiding pain. It is about practicing recovery until it becomes natural. So, how do you apply resilience training right now? When something goes wrong, pause, take a deep breath. Instead of reacting emotionally, ask, what can I learn from this? When you feel like quitting, remind yourself of your bigger goal. Connect the struggle to the future reward. When life feels unfair, shift your focus. Instead of asking, why me? Ask, what now? What can you do next to move forward? Start building resilience in small ways. Finish the workout even when you are tired. Complete the project even when you feel bored. These small acts of mental training prepare you for bigger battles. Remember, resilience does not mean you never feel pain. It means you do not let pain control your destiny. It means you stand up one more time than you fall. It means life may test you, but it will never break you. The truth is, resilience is the foundation of winning in every situation. Without it, talent fades. Without it, intelligence is wasted. But with resilience, even an ordinary person can achieve extraordinary success. Train your mind to be like a warrior, calm under pressure, strong in storms, and unbreakable in spirit. Then no matter what life throws at you, you will always rise again. Chapter 9. Turning failure into fuel. Failure is one of the most powerful teachers in life. Yet, most people fear it so much that they never let themselves learn from it. They see failure as shame, as proof that they are not good enough. But if you change how you see failure, it can become your greatest source of strength. Think of failure like fire. If you fear it and run away, it will burn you from behind. But if you learn how to use it, you can cook, you can build, you can create light in the darkness. Failure is the same. It can destroy you, or it can fuel your success, depending on how you handle it. The first step in turning failure into fuel is redefining what failure means. Most people think failure means the end, but failure is never final unless you stop trying. It is simply feedback, a sign that something in your approach didn't work. Instead of saying, I failed, I am a failure, you shift to, I failed, which means I learned one way that doesn't work. That change in mindset makes all the difference. Thomas Edison is famous for saying, I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. That is why he invented the light bulb, while others gave up. He turned failure into fuel. Every rejection, every mistake, every broken experiment was not wasted. It was fuel that powered him closer to success. Let's look at sports. Michael Jordan, one of the greatest basketball players of all time, missed more than 9,000 shots in his career. He lost almost 300 games. On 26 occasions, he was trusted to take the winning shot and missed. Yet he said, I've failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed. He turned failure into practice fuel. Every miss made him hungrier, sharper, stronger. So how do you turn failure into fuel in your own life? The first step is changing your emotional response. Most people let failure break their confidence. They take it personally. But if you see failure as normal, you will not waste time feeling crushed. You will simply say, this is part of the process. The best way to build this mindset is to expect failure on the road to success, not as a punishment, but as training. The second step is analyzing the lesson. Every failure contains information. Did you prepare enough? Did you use the right method? Did you control your emotions? If you take time to reflect, failure becomes a teacher. But if you ignore it, you will repeat the same mistake. Resilient people treat failure like a classroom. They take notes, they learn, they grow. The third step is using failure as motivation. Failure can either kill your drive or light it on fire. Which one happens depends on your choice. When you fail, instead of saying, "I'll never try again," say, "Now I will train harder, smarter, and better." Many athletes, entrepreneurs, and leaders succeed not because they were the most talented, but because they were fueled by past failures. Let's use an example. Imagine a student fails an important exam. One reaction is to give up, to believe they are not smart enough. But another reaction is to ask, "Why did I fail? Did I study the wrong way? Did I waste time? Did I panic under pressure?" Then they adjust their study habits, practice under exam-like conditions, and improve. The failure becomes fuel for better performance next time. Failure also builds humility and patience. When you succeed too quickly, you may think success is easy. But failure reminds you that growth takes time. It humbles you, makes you patient, and teaches you to value the process. In the long run, this patience becomes a huge advantage. Here's another secret. Failure tests how badly you want something. If one failure makes you quit, maybe you didn't want it enough. But if you keep going despite repeated failures, you prove to yourself and others that you are serious. This inner fire built through failure is what separates winners from quitters. Let's talk about entrepreneurs. Almost every successful business person has a story of failure. Steve Jobs was fired from Apple, the company he co-founded. But instead of quitting, he used that failure as fuel to innovate further. He returned to Apple years later and built it into one of the greatest companies in history. If he had let failure define him, that story would have ended very differently. Or think about J.K. Rowling, the author of the Harry Potter series. She was rejected by 12 publishers before one finally accepted her manuscript. If she had given up after the 5th or 10th rejection, the world would never have known her books. Failure became her fuel, driving her to prove that her story was worth telling. Now let's bring this back to mental training. How can you actually train your mind to turn failure into fuel? One technique is failure journaling. After a setback, write down exactly what happened, why it happened, and what you can do better. This turns failure into data instead of drama. You stop seeing it as shame and start seeing it as useful information. Another technique is mental reframing. Instead of saying, "I failed," say, "I'm still learning." Instead of saying, "I lost," say, "I'm gaining experience." Words matter because they shape how your brain interprets reality. A third technique is setting micro goals. When failure makes you feel overwhelmed, break your comeback into small wins. Instead of saying, "I have to succeed in everything," say, "I just need to get a little better today." These small wins rebuild confidence and keep your momentum alive. Finally, train yourself with exposure. The more you face small failures, the stronger you become at handling them. Try new things, take calculated risks, practice skills you are not good at yet. Each small failure builds your tolerance, so when big failures come, they do not break you. Science also supports this. Psychologists call it stress inoculation. Just like a vaccine exposes you to a weak version of a virus to build immunity, small failures build your mind's immunity against bigger failures. If you never let yourself fail, your mind becomes fragile. But if you face failures often, your mind becomes anti-fragile. It doesn't just survive difficulty, it grows stronger from it. Remember, failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is part of success. Every success story you admire is built on a mountain of failures that were turned into lessons and motivation. Without those failures, the success would never have happened. So the next time you fail, pause and smile. Tell yourself, "This is fuel. This is my advantage. Most people quit here, but I will not. I will use this as energy to rise higher." The truth is, winners are not people who never fail. Winners are people who fail more than others because they try more and they learn more. They fail forward. They fall down 7 times and stand up 8. That is what makes them unstoppable. Turn your failures into fuel and you will discover a hidden source of power inside you. The more you fail, the stronger you become, and one day all those failures will come together into the victory you have been working for. Chapter 10. Building Unshakable Confidence. Confidence is the invisible armor that protects you in every situation. It is not arrogance. It is not about thinking you are better than others. True confidence is about believing in yourself, trusting your preparation, and knowing you can handle whatever comes your way. Without confidence, even the most talented person struggles. With confidence, even someone with average skill can achieve extraordinary things. But here is the secret. Confidence is not something you are born with. It is something you build. It is a skill, and like every skill, it can be trained, strengthened, and improved. Many people think, if I had success, I would feel confident. But the truth is the opposite. Confidence comes before success. You must act confident even before you see results, and then your results will grow from that belief. Let's break down how to build unshakable confidence, step by step. The first foundation of confidence is self-awareness. You must know your strengths and weaknesses clearly. Many people pretend they have no weaknesses. That's fragile confidence. Real confidence means, yes, I have weaknesses, but I also have strengths, and I am working every day to improve. When you accept yourself fully, you stop fearing judgment. The second foundation is competence. Confidence grows from preparation. Imagine walking into an exam without studying. You will feel nervous, shaky, insecure. But if you studied hard, you will walk in with calm certainty. The same applies to life. Confidence is not magic. It is the natural result of consistent practice. The more competent you are, the more confident you become. But here is something important. You don't need to be perfect to feel confident. Many people wait until they know everything before taking action. That day never comes. True confidence is built while acting, not while waiting. When you take action, even imperfectly, you gain experience, and experience fuels confidence. The third step in building unshakable confidence is controlling your inner voice. Most people carry a negative commentator in their minds. It says things like, "You're not good enough. You're going to fail. People will laugh at you." This inner critic kills confidence before you even start. To build confidence, you must replace that voice with one that supports you. You must become your own coach. One powerful technique is called positive self-talk. Instead of saying, "I can't do this," say, "I can handle this." Instead of saying, "I always fail," say, "Every time I try, I get better." This might sound simple, but your brain listens to your words. If you feed it negativity, you feel weak. If you feed it positivity, you feel strong. Visualization is another powerful tool. Before big moments, close your eyes and imagine yourself succeeding. Picture yourself walking confidently, speaking clearly, performing at your best. Your brain doesn't fully know the difference between imagination and reality. When you visualize success, your brain begins to believe it is possible, and your body responds with calm and confidence. Let's look at athletes. Before a race, sprinters often visualize running perfectly, crossing the finish line, and feeling the victory. This mental rehearsal builds confidence because their minds already experienced success. You can use this technique for anything: job interviews, exams, presentations, or difficult conversations. Now, confidence is not just about what happens in your mind. It also shows in your body. That's why posture matters. When you stand tall, make eye contact, and breathe deeply, your brain feels more powerful. Psychologists call this embodied confidence. In other words, your body language can trick your brain into feeling more confident. There is also the concept of small wins. Confidence does not come from one giant success. It comes from stacking small victories over time. Each time you achieve something, no matter how small, you prove to yourself that you are capable. Over weeks and months, this becomes unshakable confidence. For example, if you want to be confident in public speaking, start with speaking in front of one friend, then a small group, then a bigger group. Each win builds the next. But here is a challenge. What happens when you fail? Doesn't failure destroy confidence? It can, if you let it. But if you see failure as fuel, as we learned earlier, it actually builds confidence. Because once you fail and realize you can survive, you lose fear. You discover that failure is not the end of the world. That makes you stronger, more confident, and less afraid next time. Confidence also grows when you keep promises to yourself. If you say, "I will wake up early," but you keep hitting snooze, your brain learns not to trust you. But if you say, "I will wake up early," and you actually do it, your brain says, "I can count on myself." Each time you keep a promise, your self-trust increases. That is the root of real confidence, trusting yourself. Another strategy is surrounding yourself with the right people. Confidence is contagious. If you spend time with negative people who criticize everything, your confidence will shrink. But if you surround yourself with encouraging, driven, and positive people, your confidence will grow naturally. That's why successful athletes train with strong teams and supportive coaches. The environment shapes confidence. Confidence is also connected to risk-taking. Every time you step outside your comfort zone, you expand your limits. At first, it feels uncomfortable, but soon, what felt scary becomes normal. That's how you grow. If you always stay in your comfort zone, your confidence stays small. But if you keep challenging yourself, your confidence becomes unshakable because you have proven to yourself that you can adapt to anything. One more truth. Unshakable confidence does not mean you never feel fear. Everyone feels fear. Confidence means you act even while afraid. It is courage in action. When you face your fears again and again, the fear gets smaller and your confidence grows bigger. Think of a child learning to ride a bike. At first, they are afraid of falling. But after falling a few times and realizing they can get back up, the fear fades. Soon they ride confidently, without thinking. That is how confidence is built, through repeated exposure, learning, and persistence. Now let's connect this to winning in every situation. If your mind is trained to be confident, you walk into challenges with an advantage. Others may panic, doubt themselves, or freeze under pressure. But you remain calm, steady, and focused because you believe in yourself. That calm confidence allows you to think clearly and perform at your best, even when the situation is tough. To build unshakable confidence, remember these key practices. Accept your strengths and weaknesses honestly. Prepare and practice consistently. Replace negative self-talk with positive self-talk. Visualize success before big moments. Use strong body language and posture. Collect small wins to build momentum. Treat failure as part of growth, not as an end. Keep promises to yourself to build self-trust. Step outside your comfort zone often. If you follow these steps, your confidence will not be fragile. It will not break when you face criticism or setbacks. It will be unshakable, rooted deep inside you. And when you carry that kind of confidence, you become unstoppable. Because in every situation, whether easy or hard, you walk in with the belief that you can win.
Chapter 11. Strategic Thinking in Tough Situations.
Life is not a straight road. It is full of turns, obstacles, and sudden challenges. In these moments, emotions often take over. Fear, anger, and stress can cloud your thinking. Many people freeze, panic, or make quick choices they later regret. But winners train their minds differently. They learn to think strategically, especially in tough situations. Strategic thinking is the art of staying calm, analyzing the problem, and making the smartest move possible. Think about a chess game. The best players don't panic when their opponent makes a strong move. Instead, they pause, Evaluate the board and look for opportunities. They think several steps ahead. Life works the same way. Tough situations are like surprise moves on the chessboard. If you react emotionally, you make mistakes. But if you respond strategically, you turn problems into victories. The first key to strategic thinking is pausing before reacting. When a tough situation hits, your natural instinct might be to fight, run, or complain. But those are emotional reactions. A winner pauses, breathes, and buys time to think. Even a few seconds of calm breathing can shift your brain from panic mode to problem-solving mode. The second key is defining the real problem. Often, what looks like the problem is only a symptom. For example, let's say your boss shouts at you. The surface problem seems to be your boss's anger, but the real problem might be a missed deadline, miscommunication, or a larger company issue. If you only react to the shouting, you miss the real cause. Strategic thinkers always dig deeper to identify the true challenge. The third step is separating facts from emotions. Emotions are strong but temporary. Facts are steady. For instance, if you lose money in a deal, your emotion says, "I'm ruined, I'll never succeed again." But the fact may be, "I lost $1,000. I still have $5,000 left. I can learn from this and improve." When you focus on facts instead of emotions, you gain clarity. Strategic thinkers also ask powerful questions. Instead of asking, "Why did this happen to me?" they ask, "What can I learn from this? What options do I have? Which choice will give me the best long-term result?" Questions shift your mind from feeling like a victim to acting like a problem solver. One powerful tool is scenario planning. This means imagining different possible outcomes and preparing for each one. For example, let's say you are preparing for a job interview. A tough situation would be getting a question you don't know. Instead of panicking, you can plan scenarios. Scenario 1, you know the answer. You answer with confidence. Scenario 2, you don't know the exact answer, but you relate it to something you do know. Scenario 3, you admit you don't know, but you show how you would find the solution. By preparing for different scenarios, you reduce fear and increase control. Strategic thinking is about being ready, not just hoping for the best. Another strategy is thinking long-term. In tough moments, people often chase short-term relief. For example, imagine you are losing an argument with a friend. To win quickly, you might insult them. That feels good for a moment, but it damages the friendship long-term. A strategic thinker asks, "What choice will give me the best result, not just today but also next week, next year?" Long-term vision leads to smarter decisions. History gives us great examples of strategic thinking. Take Abraham Lincoln during the American Civil War. Many times he faced angry generals and massive pressure. Instead of reacting emotionally, he often waited, listened, and thought carefully before acting. His patience and strategic choices helped hold the country together during its hardest test. Another example comes from business. Steve Jobs was removed from Apple, the company he co-founded. That was a tough situation. Instead of reacting with bitterness, he used the time to start new ventures, like Pixar. Years later, he returned to Apple stronger, and he built it into one of the most valuable companies in the world. That is the power of strategic thinking, turning a setback into a setup for a bigger win. Now let's talk about mental flexibility. Strategic thinkers don't hold on to only one plan. If plan A fails, they move to plan B, C, or D. They are like water, able to flow around obstacles. People who only stick to one rigid plan break under pressure. Flexible minds bend, adapt, and eventually win. A practical way to build strategic thinking is writing things down. When your mind is racing with fear and confusion, put the problem on paper. Write the facts, write your options, write possible outcomes. This clears your head and lets you see patterns you might miss in the heat of the moment. Another tool is learning from others. Strategic thinkers study how others handle tough times. They read biographies, study history, and observe leaders. Why? Because human challenges repeat. If someone found a smart solution 50 years ago, maybe you can apply the same principle today. But strategy is not only about thinking. It's also about timing. Sometimes the best move is to wait. Other times the best move is fast action. A skilled thinker learns when to hold back and when to strike. For example, in negotiation, silence can be more powerful than words. In sports, waiting for the right moment can create victory. Strategy is about playing the right move at the right time. It is also important to control your energy. Tough situations drain you. If you let stress consume all your energy, you cannot think clearly. That's why great leaders take care of their sleep, nutrition, and exercise. A tired, stressed-out brain cannot think strategically. A rested, healthy brain can. Confidence and strategy go hand in hand. If you believe in yourself, you will think clearly under pressure. If you doubt yourself, panic will cloud your mind. That's why confidence from the last chapter is a foundation for strategy. Together, they make you powerful. Let's take an example. Imagine two people lose their job. The first person panics, complains, and blames others. Months later, they are still stuck. The second person pauses, writes down their skills, researches opportunities, and builds a plan to move forward. Within weeks, they are in a new role. Both faced the same problem, but one reacted emotionally, while the other responded strategically. The difference is mindset. To master strategic thinking, practice these steps whenever you face a tough moment. Pause before reacting. Define the real problem, not just the surface. Separate facts from emotions. Ask powerful, solution-focused questions. Prepare for different scenarios. Think long-term, not just short-term. Stay flexible and adapt your plan when needed. Use writing to organize your thoughts. Learn from history, mentors, and role models. Take care of your mind and body to stay sharp. If you follow these principles, you will discover a calm strength inside you. No matter how chaotic the situation, you will see options others miss. While others are frozen in fear, you will move with clarity. That is the power of strategic thinking. It turns problems into opportunities and ensures that, in every situation, you find a path to win. Chapter 12. Staying calm when others panic. When chaos breaks out, most people lose control. Their minds race, their bodies shake, and they make mistakes. In those moments, calmness is not just a nice quality, it becomes a superpower. The person who stays calm when everyone else panics is the one who finds the solution, earns trust, and leads others through the storm. Think about a fire in a crowded building. Most people scream and rush toward the exits. Some push, some freeze, some cry, but the calm person, the one who takes a deep breath, looks around and guides others, saves lives. The situation is the same for everyone, but the calm person rises above it. The truth is, panic makes any problem worse. Panic shuts down the thinking part of your brain and activates survival mode. That's why panicked people often run the wrong way, say the wrong things, or make poor choices. Calmness does the opposite. It slows your breathing, clears your mind, and allows you to see options that panic hides. But how do you train yourself to stay calm when everything seems out of control? The first step is control your breath. Your breath is the remote control for your emotions. When panic hits, your breath becomes short and fast. To reverse panic, slow your breathing. Inhale deeply through your nose, hold for a moment, and exhale slowly through your mouth. Even 2 or 3 deep breaths can bring back clarity. Professional soldiers, pilots, and athletes use this technique to stay focused in high-pressure moments. The second step is shift your focus. Panic grows when you focus only on danger. Calmness grows when you focus on solutions. For example, imagine you are giving a presentation and you forget your words. Panic says, I'm failing, everyone is judging me. Calmness says, pause, breathe, look at my notes. Continue. The situation is the same, but the focus changes the outcome. The third step is train your mind before the crisis comes. You cannot wait until chaos hits to build calmness. You need to practice it daily. Meditation, visualization, and journaling are tools that prepare your mind. For example, meditation teaches you to observe your thoughts without reacting. Visualization lets you imagine yourself staying calm in future challenges. Journaling allows you to process emotions so they don't overwhelm you later. Calmness is like a muscle. You must train it. Another powerful habit is exposing yourself to small stresses. If you live in complete comfort, even a small problem can make you panic. But if you regularly challenge yourself, cold showers, intense workouts, public speaking, fasting, your tolerance grows. Then when a real crisis comes, you are less likely to lose control. Calmness also comes from self-confidence. People panic when they don't trust themselves. If you believe you can handle challenges, you don't need to panic. Confidence tells you, I may not know the answer yet, but I can figure it out. That belief keeps you calm while others collapse. Let's look at real-life examples. In 2009, Captain Chesley Sully Sullenberger landed U.S. Airways Flight 5049 on the Hudson River after both engines failed. Hundreds of lives were at stake. The passengers panicked, but Sully stayed calm. His calmness allowed him to think clearly, control the plane, and save everyone on board. He later said that his decades of training helped him stay calm in those 3 critical minutes. Another example comes from sports. In the NBA, great players like Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant were known for staying calm in the final seconds of a game. While others felt pressure and missed shots, they thrived under pressure. Why? Because they trained their minds to stay calm when others panicked. That calmness became their competitive edge. Calmness also influences others. If you stay calm, people around you feel safer. They look to you for guidance. Leaders in business, politics, and families who can remain calm during crises gain respect and trust. Your calmness doesn't just help you, it helps everyone connected to you. One practical tool for staying calm is reframing the situation. Instead of saying, "This is the end," you can say, "This is a challenge, and I will grow through it." The words you use shape your reality. If you frame a crisis as an opportunity, your mind shifts from fear to strength. Another tool is slowing down your actions. When panic rises, people move too fast. They rush into decisions without thinking. Calmness is about slowing down, walking instead of running, speaking slowly instead of shouting, making decisions after reflection instead of impulse. Slow actions bring control. But calmness is not the same as ignoring reality. Some people confuse calmness with pretending everything is fine. That is denial. True calmness faces reality directly, but refuses to be controlled by fear. It's saying, yes, this is serious, yes, this is difficult, but I am still in control of myself. Calmness also requires managing your inner dialogue. Panic thoughts sound like, I can't do this, I'm doomed. Calm thoughts sound like, I can handle this, let's take one step at a time. You cannot always control the situation, but you can always control the conversation in your own head. That self-talk decides whether you panic or stay calm. One more technique is visual anchoring. This means creating a mental image of calmness that you can return to during chaos. For example, imagine a peaceful beach, a quiet forest, or a safe place from your childhood. When panic hits, close your eyes for a moment and return to that anchor. Your mind will remember the calm feeling, even in chaos. Over time, calmness becomes your default. People will notice. They will say, "Why are you so calm?" When everyone else is stressed, that's when you know your training is working. Calmness becomes part of your identity. Let's imagine a workplace example. A project fails, and the team panics. Some blame each other, some cry, some quit. But one person stays calm. They say, "All right, let's see what went wrong. Here are our options. We can fix this." That person quickly becomes the leader. Not because they have the title, but because they have the calmness everyone else needs. To master this chapter, practice these steps daily. Train your breath, slow and deep. Shift your focus from danger to solutions. Prepare your mind with meditation and visualization. Expose yourself to small stresses to build resilience. Build confidence so you trust yourself. Reframe crises as opportunities. Slow down your words and actions. Control your inner dialogue. Use mental anchors for instant calm. Lead others with your calm presence. If you build these habits, you will become the person who shines when others fall apart. You will be the calm in the storm, the steady voice in the chaos, the leader when everyone else is lost, and in every tough situation, that calmness will help you win. Chapter 13. Never letting setbacks define you. Every single person in life faces setbacks. No matter how smart, how talented, or how hard-working you are, there will be times when you fall short, when plans collapse, or when life throws obstacles at you. But here is the difference between people who succeed and people who stay stuck. Winners refuse to let setbacks define who they are. Failure is not a final sentence. It's feedback. Yet, many people treat setbacks as proof that they are not good enough. They say, "I failed, so I must be a failure." That's the biggest mistake. A setback is only a moment. It's a chapter in your story, not the ending. If you let it define you, you close your own book too early. Think about Thomas Edison. Before he invented the light bulb, he failed thousands of times. If he had let those failures define him, we might still be living in darkness. But Edison didn't say, "I am a failure." He said, "I just found another way that doesn't work." That mindset is the key. Failure is not who you are. It's just part of the process. Let's take a closer look at why people let setbacks define them. The first reason is identity attachment. People attach their identity to outcomes. For example, if a student fails one exam, they think, "I am stupid." If an entrepreneur fails one business, they think, "I am not cut out for this." They confuse what happened with who they are. But failure is an event, not an identity. You must separate the two. The second reason is fear of judgment. Many people fear what others will say when they fail. They let society define them. If I failed, people will laugh at me, so I must be a loser. But here's the truth. Most people are too busy with their own problems to think about your failures, and even if they do, their opinions do not define your future. Only your actions do. The third reason is lack of perspective. When people face setbacks, they think it's the end of the world. They don't realize that setbacks are temporary. Losing a job feels permanent until you find a better one. Failing in a relationship feels final until you grow and meet someone new. Perspective reminds you that time changes everything. So how do you stop setbacks from defining you? Step 1. Reframe failure. Instead of seeing failure as an ending, see it as training. Every time you fall, you learn something new. Athletes know this well. When they lose a game, they study the mistakes, train harder, and come back stronger. Imagine your setbacks as lessons. Ask yourself, what is this teaching me? What can I do differently next time? Step 2. Separate identity from events. Say to yourself, I failed at this task, but I am not a failure. For example, if your business idea didn't work, that does not mean you are a bad entrepreneur. It only means you need a new strategy. Your value as a person is not reduced by temporary setbacks. Step 3. Use setbacks as fuel. Some people let setbacks break them. Others let setbacks build them. The difference is mindset. A boxer who loses a fight has two choices: quit or train harder and come back stronger. If you treat setbacks as fuel, they become your motivation to improve. Step 4. Look at examples of resilience. History is full of people who refuse to be defined by failure. J.K. Rowling was rejected by 12 publishers before Harry Potter became a global success. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team before becoming the greatest player of all time. Oprah Winfrey was fired from her first TV job before becoming a media icon. If these people let setbacks define them, the world would never have known their greatness. Another important step is adopting a long-term vision. In the short term, setbacks hurt. They bruise your ego and test your patience. But in the long term, they shape you. Imagine climbing a mountain. Sometimes you slip, sometimes you take the wrong path, sometimes you rest. But as long as you keep moving upward, the slips don't matter. The mountain climber who never stops eventually reaches the top. It's also helpful to practice self-compassion. Many people are too harsh on themselves after setbacks. They beat themselves up, say negative things, and drown in guilt. But self-compassion means treating yourself as you would treat a friend. If your friend failed, you wouldn't say, "You're worthless." You'd say, "It's okay. Learn from it and try again." Give yourself the same kindness. Let's go deeper. Sometimes setbacks reveal hidden strengths. Think about a person who loses their job. At first, they panic, but then they realize this is the chance to start their own business or find a career they truly love. The setback was painful, but it pushed them toward something better. Without the setback, they might have stayed stuck forever. This shows us an important truth. Setbacks are often redirections. They push us away from what wasn't meant for us and toward what is. It may not feel like it in the moment, but many people later look back and say that failure was the best thing that ever happened to me. Of course, not all setbacks are easy to accept. Some are deeply painful, losing a loved one, going through divorce, or facing financial ruin. But even in those moments, you have a choice. You can let the pain define you for life, or you can let the pain shape you into someone stronger. Pain can either be a prison or a teacher. You decide which. Here's a practical exercise. Write down your biggest setback from the past. Then list 3 lessons you learned from it. Next, list 3 ways you grew as a person because of it. This simple act changes your perspective. You begin to see the value hidden inside the pain. Another technique is creating a comeback plan. When you face a setback, instead of staying stuck in regret, create a plan for how you will move forward. For example, if you failed an exam, your comeback plan could be studying 2 extra hours each day, joining a study group, and taking practice tests. A plan turns setbacks into steps forward. Finally, surround yourself with people who remind you of your strength. If you stay around people who mock you for failing, you will start believing them. But if you stay around people who encourage you, they will help you rise again. Positive voices shape positive identities. In the end, setbacks are not the enemy. They are part of life's training program. Every successful person has a history of setbacks. The difference is, they didn't let those moments define them. They used them to build resilience, wisdom, and strength. So the next time you face a setback, remember this. It's not the end. It's not who you are. It's simply a moment in your story. The way you respond to it will decide whether it becomes a wall that stops you or a stepping stone that lifts you higher. Winners never let setbacks define them. They let setbacks refine them. And that is how you keep your mind trained to win in every situation. Winning once is not enough. Winning in life is about building a mindset that allows you to succeed again and again, no matter the circumstances. Some people win one battle and then stop. Others build a mindset that keeps them strong in every season, every challenge, every stage of life. That's the difference between temporary success and lasting greatness. Chapter 14. Building a winning mindset for life. A winning mindset is not something you are born with. It is something you train, like a muscle. And just like muscles, if you don't use it, you lose it. That's why you must build habits and principles that make your mind strong for the long run. Let's explore how you can do that. The first principle is clarity of purpose. Winners always know what they are working toward. They don't wander through life without direction. They set a vision for themselves. A winning mindset begins with asking, what do I truly want? What kind of person do I want to become? What is my mission? Once you know your purpose, setbacks and distractions lose their power. Purpose becomes your compass. The third principle is mental flexibility. Life is unpredictable. Plans fail, markets change, people disappoint you, and opportunities disappear. A rigid mind breaks when things don't go as planned. A flexible mind bends, adapts, and finds a new way. Winners know that their strategy may change, but their commitment to winning never does. The second principle is consistency. Anyone can be motivated for a day, anyone can work hard for a week, but winners show up every single day. They do the small things repeatedly. They read every day. They train every day. They push their mind every day. Consistency builds momentum, and momentum builds greatness. Without consistency, even the most talented person will eventually fall behind. The sixth principle is discipline. Motivation comes and goes, but discipline keeps you moving. Winners don't wait to feel like it. They act regardless of mood. Discipline is waking up early when you want to sleep in. Discipline is eating healthy when junk food is tempting. Discipline is practicing when no one is watching. Discipline builds trust in yourself. When you say you'll do something, you actually do it. The fourth principle is emotional control. Winning is not only about intelligence or hard work, it is also about controlling emotions under pressure. In sports, business, or relationships, the person who can stay calm when everyone else is panicking has the advantage. Emotional control means not letting anger, fear, or frustration make your decisions. It means responding with clarity instead of reacting with chaos. The fifth principle is resilience. We spoke about setbacks in the previous chapter, but resilience is about more than just surviving them. It's about bouncing back stronger every single time. A winning mindset sees failure as feedback and pain as training. Each challenge makes you tougher, sharper, and more prepared for the next level. The eighth principle is focus. Distractions are everywhere in today's world. Social media, gossip, endless notifications. Winners know how to cut the noise and stay locked in on what matters. They don't waste energy on things that don't serve their goals. They protect their attention as their most valuable resource. The seventh principle is growth mindset. A fixed mindset says, "This is who I am. I can't change." A growth mindset says, "I can learn. I can improve. I can evolve." Winners never stop learning. They know that every skill can be developed, every weakness can be improved, and every limit can be pushed. A winning mindset believes in progress, not perfection. The ninth principle is self-belief. Without belief, even the best plan will fail. Winners believe in themselves even before success comes. They trust that they can figure things out. They trust that effort will lead to growth. Self-belief is not arrogance. It's faith in your ability to adapt, learn, and rise. The 10th principle is service. True winners understand that success is not just about themselves. It's also about how they impact others. A winning mindset asks, how can I add value? How can I lift others while I climb? Service creates deeper fulfillment and a sense of legacy. Success without service feels empty. Success with service feels meaningful. Now let's look at some practical ways to build this winning mindset daily. Start with daily rituals, morning routines, evening reflections, or even small habits can keep your mindset strong. For example, journaling every morning helps you set intentions. Reading every day feeds your mind with wisdom. Exercise keeps your body sharp and your energy high. Meditation or prayer keeps you centered and calm. These rituals shape your thoughts and emotions, which shape your actions. Another practice is surrounding yourself with winners. Mindset is contagious. If you spend time with negative people, you will think negatively. If you spend time with people who complain, you will complain too. But if you surround yourself with people who think big, act with discipline, and push for greatness, you will naturally rise to their level. Your circle shapes your mindset more than you realize. You must also protect your input. What you read, watch, and listen to becomes the food for your mind. Junk information creates a junk mindset. Inspiring books, empowering podcasts, and positive conversations create a winning mindset. Be intentional about what you allow into your mind. Another powerful tool is visualization. Every day, see yourself winning. Imagine the situations where you want success and picture yourself handling them with strength, calmness, and focus. Visualization trains your brain to believe it's possible, and belief makes action easier. Athletes use this technique all the time, and it works. But the most important step is taking action. A winning mindset grows only through action. Reading about discipline won't make you disciplined. Thinking about resilience won't make you resilient. You must practice. You must face challenges. Try again after failure, and train your mind through real experience. Action is the laboratory where a winning mindset is built. Let's be clear. Building a winning mindset is not about never failing, never doubting, or never struggling. It's about having the tools to keep going when those things happen. It's about knowing that you will always get back up. It's about choosing growth over comfort, clarity over confusion, and resilience over weakness. Imagine your life 5 years from now. Imagine you've built this mindset. You wake up with clarity. You know your goals. You handle stress with calmness. You see challenges as opportunities. You believe in yourself even when others don't. You stay disciplined even when no one is watching. That's the life a winning mindset creates. Remember this. Success is not about luck. It's about preparation, consistency, and mindset. And the greatest victory you can ever achieve is not against others. It's against your own doubts, your own fears, and your own limitations. A winning mindset for life means you never stop growing, never stop learning, and never stop believing in your own power to overcome. That is the secret to not just winning sometimes, but winning always. Chapter 15. Winning Mindset for Life. Your final transformation. Every journey has a final step. In this book, we've explored many tools, strategies, and principles for training your mind to win in every situation. But now, in this final chapter, it is time to bring everything together. This is where you transform your understanding into a lifelong practice. This is where you decide not only to think like a winner, but to live like one every single day. Winning in life is not about luck. It is not about being born with talent. It is about building a mindset that turns challenges into opportunities, pain into power, and failure into fuel. If you've made it to this chapter, you already know the basics: discipline, resilience, clarity, focus, emotional control, and belief in yourself. The question now is, how do you turn those lessons into a permanent way of living? The first key to transformation is commitment. Most people treat personal growth like a hobby. They read a book, feel inspired for a few days, and then slip back into old habits. Winners treat personal growth as a lifelong commitment. It's not something you do when it's convenient. It's who you are every day. A true winning mindset doesn't switch on and off. It becomes your permanent identity. The second key is integration. A lot of people keep their personal growth separate from their daily life. They might practice discipline at the gym, but not at work. They might stay calm with friends, but lose control with family. A winning mindset must be integrated into every area of life. Discipline in health, discipline in career, discipline in relationships, resilience in failure, focus in chaos. The more you integrate these principles into everything you do, the stronger your mindset becomes. The third key is long-term vision. Winners don't just think about today or tomorrow. They think about years from now. They make choices today that will pay off later. They understand that success compounds, just like money does. Every small action builds momentum. Every small win becomes part of a bigger victory. A winning mindset is not obsessed with instant results. It is obsessed with growth over time. The fourth key is self-mastery. To win in life, you must learn to control yourself more than you try to control the world. You cannot control what other people say or do. You cannot control the economy. You cannot control random events, but you can always control your thoughts, your emotions, your reactions, and your habits. Self-mastery means knowing your triggers, managing your energy, and guiding yourself with discipline even when no one is watching. The fifth key is adaptability. The world will never stop changing. Technology evolves, markets shift, cultures transform. If your mindset is rigid, you will fall behind. If your mindset is adaptable, you will always find a way to win. Winners are not afraid of change. They embrace it. They see change as a chance to grow, to innovate, to evolve. Adaptability is what keeps a winning mindset relevant in every season of life. The sixth key is gratitude. At first, this may sound soft compared to discipline and resilience, but gratitude is a powerful force. Without gratitude, success feels empty. Without gratitude, you are always chasing more, without ever feeling satisfied. Gratitude keeps you humble. Gratitude reminds you of how far you've come. Gratitude makes the journey meaningful. A winning mindset is not only about achieving goals, but also about appreciating the process. The seventh key is service and legacy. Winning only for yourself is a shallow victory. True winners think about impact. They ask, how can I use my success to lift others? How can I inspire? How can I give back? Service creates a deeper purpose. Legacy makes your victories last beyond your lifetime. A winning mindset is not just about your own growth. It is about leaving the world better than you found it. Let's imagine two lives. The first is someone who wins occasionally but does not build a mindset. They succeed sometimes, fail often, and never create lasting results. The second is someone who trains their mind daily. They face the same struggles, but they rise again and again. They keep pushing, keep learning, keep growing. Over time, their life transforms. They don't just win once, they keep winning, no matter what. Which life do you want? Here's the truth. You already have everything you need to build this mindset. You don't need to be smarter. You don't need to be richer. You don't need to be luckier. You simply need to practice what you've learned. Every single day, small steps repeated consistently will change your life completely. Start with your mornings. Wake up with intention. Set your focus for the day. Choose discipline over comfort. When challenges come, don't panic. Pause, breathe, and respond with clarity. When you fail, don't quit. Learn, adapt, and try again. When you succeed, don't become arrogant. Stay humble, stay grateful, and keep growing. The secret is simple. Never stop training your mind. Just like athletes never stop training their bodies, winners never stop training their minds. Every day is a new opportunity to practice clarity, discipline, resilience, focus, and belief. Every day is a new chance to become stronger, smarter, and more prepared. In the end, winning in life is not about one big victory. It's about small victories every day. It's about winning the battle against laziness, winning the battle against fear, winning the battle against distraction, winning the battle against your own doubts. If you win those battles daily, life will take care of the bigger victories. So here's your final call. Decide today that you will live with a winning mindset for the rest of your life. Decide that you will train your mind not just for a season, but forever. Decide that no matter what situation comes, you will face it with clarity, discipline, and resilience. That is how you win. Not just once, but always. Remember this. The greatest victory is not over others. The greatest victory is over yourself. Once you master your mind, no situation can defeat you. That is the ultimate transformation. That is the true meaning of a winning mindset for life.